everybody, it's Jackie with Jackie's Recent Things. Today I'm going to show you how to make a tree topper bow using the ProBow. There's several bow makers on the market, but as far as making a tree topper bow and making it big and beautiful, I'm definitely going to recommend the ProBow for this. I don't think that any other bow maker on the market can make a tree bow quite like the ProBow. It's very important that when you make a tree topper bow that you put your spools on your spool holder correctly. You want your ribbon to spin off your spool holder this way. It will take an average of 20 yards of ribbon to make a big tree topper bow. So make sure you have plenty of ribbon. You want to gather all three of your ribbons together, just like I did. Now, instead of using standard wire for a tree topper bow, because we're going to have a whole lot of ribbon, I'm going to use tinsel wire instead, because then it's going to be easier to tighten it down. Also, when I finish, I'm going to use a zip tie, which I'll explain why. So I'm going to get a pretty good length of the tinsel tie. If you sell tree topper bows to the public, you really want to get a good length so that your customer will be able to use to tie the bow onto their tree. Tinsel wire is stronger than your regular wire. It's a little bit more pliable, and it's pretty easy to grab a hold of to really tighten your ribbon down. So what we're going to do first is we're going to grab our ends, and we are going to pinch these down. Now, when you do this, you want as little as possible sticking out the end. Now, when you do this, you're going to twist so you can secure your ribbon. If you've got too much, not a big deal. Just cut it off, just like so. To start your bow, as you can see, this one's got the center peg. So we're just going to take our ribbon and we're going to lay it over the top of our peg. Going to take one of your ties. You're going to whip it around the peg. And then the other one, put around your bottom nail. And tuck underneath your board. Now you can do just one color, but because it takes so many ribbons, I would recommend, if you want to do just a single ribbon bow, single color, I would still pull 3 ribbons at one time. You want to make sure also that your ribbon for your tree topper bows has really good wire in it, because otherwise they will kind of flop around, and you don't want your tree topper bow to flop around. Now, with doing the bow like this, you do not need a helper wire. So now our bow is getting bigger. So the first rows that we did, we only dropped our ribbon over one time. But to make this bow really full and a beautiful tree topper bow, we're going to need more loops. So what we're going to do is we want to put another loop on this row. So we're going to twist. And then what you're going to do is you're just going to take and drop this back over the same row. Just like that. Going to come back this way. Do the same thing again. And drop it right between. So we're going to go on to the next row. And for fullness, we're going to do the same thing again. So this is going to be the bottom of our tree bow. So we're going to do it one more time. As you can see, we've got quite a thick stack of ribbon going. Now, if you were only pulling 2 ribbons, you would come all the way out. we're going to pull our tie up. Now I'm going to give that a little bit of twist because I'm just securing it. Because what I'm fixing to do is I'm going to take this, I'm going to take the center peg off. I'm not going to take the rest of the bow off just yet. But I'm going to get that center peg out of the way so I can come down here with a zip tie because this is so much ribbon. And if you're going to ship this, you really want your bow to be secure. You don't want your ties to come apart. So you're definitely going to want to zip tie it. You're going to make that as tight as possible. Cut that off. And now we're going to take our tinsel tie. Tie that up. Now you would decide how long you want your tails. So for this bow, I'm going to leave a little bit of tails. Cut them off at an angle. Now to fluff the bow, we're going to grab the fluff box. Slide our tinsel right in. Off to the side. Now it's very important when you fluff a tree topper bow that you start at the bottom because it has a bunch of loops. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to separate out my 3 stacks of loops that I had for the bottom. See how I'm going to alternate them? Come over to the other side. I'm going to do the same thing. So see how nice and full the bottom of our tree topper bow is? That's really nice and full. If you don't want it as full, don't add 1 row or just use 2 ribbons. We're going to do the same thing. We went up. We're going to separate out our top rows. And then I like my ribbons to stagger out, so I'm going to pull differently. So the other side, we're going to do the same thing again. You want to really round your loops up. You don't want to leave them flat. So now I'm just kind of looking to see which ribbon I want to pull first. So I'm going to pull, I think I'm going to pull the stripe first. So your loops up toward the top, especially on a tree topper bow, should be more standing up, not laying down. So that's why my loops are more facing up now. So now that I got all my loops pulled apart, I'm just going to kind of go back and really round them up. And there y'all have it. That's how you make a nice, beautiful tree topper bow using your ProBow. Isn't that beautiful, y'all? Anybody want that on their tree? Thank y'all so much for joining me. Bye, y'all.